Good morning, one and all. I would like to thank each and everyone for being here with us today. We are very pleased to able to welcome to all of them who had been associated with us from a long time, and as well to those people also, those new members also who are new to Mukta family. How physical sports are good for the health. Similarly, who denies mental health is not required? It has also to be maintained. It brings a confidence, it brings inspiration, it brings an ideology, develops an intellectual skill that make us to lead our life to the true sportsmanship. It is once said by Vivekananda that in a day, if you do not face any problem, any trouble, it means you are on a wrong path. So interesting. So today we all are blessed to have this opportunity to listen about teachings of Vivekananda and learn how to incorporate this in our life so that we never go on wrong path. With this, I would like to call upon Dr. Gauri Pasulkar to start the program with the name of Goddess Saraswati, who is embodiment of wisdom, knowledge, and learning. Let's seek her blessings in all sphere of our life. I would like to invite upon now Dr. Gauri.
Thank you, Megha ma'am. या कुंदेन्दु तुषार हार धवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रामृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युत शंकर प्रभृतिभिः देवै सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेष जाड्या पहा निःशेष जाड्या पहा.
Thank you so much, Gauri ma'am. It's so beautiful. Without any instrumental music, it had taken our hearts. Thank you so much. I would like to now invite on for our, very old member, Manpreet Madam. She will be enlightening us for this Kartavya Bodh Divas. As we know, we all are performing so many Kartavyas every day, right, in a personal and professional life. That also change our shape, means how sun changes its daylight, how it has been changed by moon, its size. So change is only constant in our life. So our Kartavyas are also changing the shape. Every day it's changing the shape. But once everything is going in the modernity of the life, how can we forget our old Indian culture, traditional values, which has been given by our gurus, ancient gurus, and developed a model life, a model society, right? So more light will be thrown by Dr. Manpreet today, who has been with us associated from a long time. I would like to call upon Manpreet Kaur Madam to throw some light on Kartavya Bodh Divas.
थैंक यू मेगा जी. दो महान विभूतियों स्वामी विवेकानंद और नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र बोस जयंती के अवसर पर कर्तव्य बोध दिवस अखिल भारतीय राष्ट्रीय शैक्षिक महासंघ के निर्देशानुसार मुक्ता मुंबई यूनिवर्सिटी कॉलेज टीचर्स एसोसिएशन द्वारा हर साल मनाया जाता है. स्वामी विवेकानंद ने पुरानी परंपराओं का अंधानुकरण नहीं किया. वह स्वयं प्रयोग करते थे, एक्सपेरिमेंट करते थे, जो आजकल हमारे शिक्षकों के लिए बहुत ही जरूरी है, और लोगों को जागृत करते थे. उन्होंने केवल किताबों से नहीं पढ़ाया, बल्कि वह खुद जाकर मेलों में जाकर प्रैक्टिकल लोगों में परिवर्तन लाते थे, जो शिक्षक बनने की पहली शर्त है। स्वामी विवेकानंद पुस्तकीय ज्ञान की अपेक्षा वो किताबों पर विश्वास नहीं करते थे। वो कहते थे कि हमें विद्यार्थियों में आत्मविश्वास लाना चाहिए। किताबों के ज्ञान से आत्मविश्वास ज्यादा श्रेष्ठ है, क्योंकि उन्हीं का कथन उन्हीं के शब्दों में, यदि स्वयं में विश्वास करना और अधिक विस्तार से पढ़ाया और अभ्यास कराया गया होता, तो मुझे यकीन है कि बुराइयों और दुख का एक बहुत बड़ा हिस्सा गायब हो गया होता। स्वामी जी ने शिक्षक की बहुत अच्छी परिभाषा दी है, जब तक जीना तब तक सीखना, अनुभव ही जगत में सर्वश्रेष्ठ शिक्षक है। यहीं से हमारी यानी शिक्षक की भूमिका शुरू होती है। विद्यार्थियों को इतना निपुण बना दिया जाए कि उनके अनुभव उन्हें श्रेष्ठ नागरिक और अच्छा सच्चा इंसान बनाए। यह तभी संभव है जब सभी कर्तव्यों का पालन करें, और कर्तव्य पालन के लिए शक्ति चाहिए। स्वामी विवेकानंद खुद को कमजोर समझना पाप समझते हैं। यहाँ पर मैं बताना चाहूंगी, पाप जो है ये नहीं आपने व्रत नहीं रखा तो आपको पाप लगेगा। पाप क्या है? अगर हम खुद अपने आप को कमजोर समझते हैं, क्योंकि एक कमजोर व्यक्ति ही है जो हर गलत चीज को सहन करता है और कहीं ना कहीं गलत होने में, अत्याचार होने में वो भागीदार बनता है। नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र बोस कर्तव्य को स्पष्ट करते हैं, हमें सिर्फ कार्य करने का अधिकार है, कर्म ही हमारा कर्तव्य है। वह देश प्रेम, देश सेवा को ही सर्वोपरि मानते हैं। ये हमारा कर्तव्य है कि हम अपनी स्वतंत्रता का मूल अपने खून से चुकाएं। सुभाष चंद्र बोस केवल ये कहते ही नहीं है, बल्कि उनका पूरा जीवन हमें इसकी एक मिसाल बनकर सामने आता है। उनकी दृष्टि में सबसे बड़ा अपराध अन्याय सहना और गलत के साथ समझौता करना है। हमारा मुक्ता यही काम कर रहा है, जो गलत है, जो बुराई है, उसे दूर करने का प्रयास कर रहा है। तो हम भी उन्हीं के लक्ष्य कदम पर चल रहे हैं। दोनों विभूतियों ने अपना जीवन देश हित में समर्पण किया। राष्ट्र के हित में शिक्षा, शिक्षा के हित में शिक्षक, शिक्षक के हित में समाज। हमारा ये जो नारा है उन्हीं की कहीं देन है, और हमारा पूरी तरह हम कोशिश करते हैं कि उनके बताए हुए नक्शे कदम पर हम चलें। ये जो हमारा हम ये बोध दिवस मनाते हैं, इसीलिए मनाते हैं, बार बार हम अपने आप को उनके द्वारा दिखाए गए रास्ते को याद दिलाते रहे, और हम अपने आप को ये विश्वास दिलाते रहे कि हम इतनी महान विभूतियों के वंशज हैं। हम भटके नहीं, उन्हीं के राह पर चले। इसलिए उन्हें याद करते हुए हम हर वर्ष कर्तव्य बोध दिवस मनाते हुए विद्यार्थी, शिक्षक, परिवार, समाज और संगठन के प्रति कर्तव्यों को जागृत करते हैं। और इस कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए मैं मेघा जी को आमंत्रित करती हूँ। आप सबका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Manpreet madam. What a beautiful verses and the narrations had been given by you. कि अपने आप को कमजोर समझना ही सबसे बड़ी कमजोरी है जिंदगी की। मीन्स ये एक वर्स ऐसा था जो किसी की भी लाइफ को चेंज कर सकता है, कि किसी भी हालत में अपने आप को कमजोर नहीं समझना चाहिए। यही हमारा सबसे बड़ा कर्तव्य है। मनप्रीत मैडम, टुडे इट्स ब्यूटीफुल वर्स, इट्स quite devoted towards the life of the human. Thank you so much, Manpreet madam. Now we are going for, as Manpreet madam said, that being an association of the teacher, being the organization of teacher, Mucta always worked bring a professional growth in the teachers, not only teachers, for the teaching community at a large, so that education as a whole can be flourish. For this reason, I'll say that Mucta is dedicated. It's dedicated, right? कि कोई भी टीचर अपने आप को कमजोर नहीं समझे। जहां कमजोर है, जहां कमजोर का थोड़ा सा भी अनुभव है, वहां मुक्ता आपके साथ में है, तो कमजोरी का सवाल ही नहीं उठता। Now, I would like to call upon Dr. Subhash Athavale to throw some light on it.
नमस्कार। सबसे पहले मैं आज के हमारे प्रमुख अतिथि नारायण जी गर्दे सर का बहुत बहुत तहे दिल से स्वागत करता हूं। और आज यहाँ पर जो भी हमारे शिक्षक वर्ग साथ में है उनका भी तहे दिल से मैं स्वागत करता हूं। मुक्ता, जैसे कि अभी मनप्रीत कौर मैडम ने कहा, राष्ट्र के हित में शिक्षा, शिक्षा के हित में शिक्षक और शिक्षक के हित में समाज, ये त्रिसूत्री के ऊपर हमारा Mucta Mumbai University and College Teachers Association is affiliated to अखिल भारतीय राष्ट्रीय शैक्षिक महासंघ महाराष्ट्र प्रांत और अखिल भारतीय शैक्षिक महासंघ सेंट्रल कमिटी दैट इज दिल्ली। वी आर एफिलिएटेड टू बोथ ऑफ देम। जैसे कि आप सभी को पता है 2008 में मुक्ता की स्थापना हुई और तब से लेके अविरत हम प्रयत्न कर रहे हैं कि शिक्षा के चीज में हम सुधार किस तरीके से लाएं। सिर्फ हमारा सैलरी, हमारी पगार या हमारी जो भी सरकार से आना है उसी के ऊपर हमारा संगठन काम नहीं करता है, परंतु हमारी जो आज समाज के प्रति हम जो देय है, हम जो देना लगते हैं, उसके प्रति भी हमारा संगठन बहुत ही कटिबद्ध है। और उस तहत जैसे कि अभी मनप्रीत मैडम ने बताया, हम ये आज का कार्यक्रम कर्तव्य बोध दिवस कार्यक्रम मना रहे हैं। ऐसे ही कई कार्यक्रम हम बनाते हैं, जैसे व्यास पूर्णिमा है, वो भी एक कार्यक्रम हम हमारे संगठन की तरफ से मनाते हैं। इसका मूल उद्देश्य यही है कि जो हमारी त्रिसूत्री है, राष्ट्र के हित में शिक्षा, शिक्षा के हित में शिक्षक, शिक्षक के हित में समाज, तो हमारी जो शिक्षा है वो राष्ट्र के हित में हो। हमारी जो शिक्षा है वो शिक्षक को और विद्यार्थियों को राष्ट्र भक्ति की तरफ ले जाए और पूरा समाज जो है वो राष्ट्रभक्ति की ओर बढ़े और हमारा एक अच्छा राष्ट्र भारत दुनिया के सामने एक मजबूत राष्ट्र बन के उभरे। यही हमारी इस कार्यक्रम के पीछे और इस संगठन के पीछे हमारी अपेक्षाएं हैं। जैसा कि अभी मेघना मैडम बताया कि हमारा संगठन अनेक लोगों के साथ में जाता है जिनके ऊपर अन्याय अत्याचार हो रहा है, और हम ये कोशिश करते हैं कि उनके विषय जो है यूनिवर्सिटी लेवल के हो या जॉइंट डायरेक्टर के लेवल के हो या और कई विषय है, जैसे कोई काउंसिल से, एसोसिएशन से उनके लेवल पे हो, हम उनको वहां पर जाके उनकी जो भी समस्याएं है उनमें कुछ सुधार लाने की कोशिश अवश्य करते हैं। और इसमें ऐसा नहीं होता कि हर समय हमको सफलता मिलती है, परंतु कोशिश हमारी जारी रखनी चाहिए। और संगठन जो है उसका मूल उद्देश्य यही है कि हम अगर एक साथ रहे, हम अगर सब मिलजुल के हमारी समस्याओं के बारे में विचार करें और हम सब मिलजुल के विद्यार्थियों को और हमारे समाज को किस तरफ से आगे लेके जा सके, इस तरीके का अगर हम विचार करें, तो मैं समझता हूं हमारा संगठन एक पूरी दुनिया में, पूरी शिक्षण समाज में एक अलग तौर की तरफ उभरेगा और जिसका कि अनुकरण सभी लोग करना चाहेंगे। आज का इस जो कार्यक्रम है उसमें जैसे विवेकानंद जी है, सुभाष चंद्र बोस है, ये जो महान दो विभूतियां है, उन्होंने जो हमको शिक्षा के प्रति कैसी होना चाहिए, जब भी मनप्रीत मैडम ने काफी सटीक शब्दों में इसका उल्लेख किया है, तो मैं उसमें ज्यादा नहीं जाना चाहूंगा, परंतु संगठन का यही मेन उद्देश्य है कि इस तरीके के हमको बिना डरे आगे बढ़ना है और हमारे ऊपर अन्याय और अत्याचार अगर हो रहा है तो उसके लिए हमें डट कर खड़ा रहना है। ये मूल उद्देश्य है और उसके लिए संगठन हमारे साथ में है। संगठन की मेंबरशिप भी चालू है। संगठन का वार्षिक मेंबरशिप है 200 रुपया, और वो आप मुक्ता की जो वेबसाइट है जहां पर हमने काफी सारे इंपॉर्टेंट जो शिक्षकों के लिए बहुत ज्यादा उपयोगी ऐसे जो मटेरियल होता है, साहित्य होता है, वो हमने मुक्ता.in ऐसी हमारी वेबसाइट है, उसके ऊपर हमने रखा हुआ है। जो भी शिक्षक कोई जीआर चाहिए, कोई यूजीसी के डॉक्यूमेंट्स चाहिए, कोई कैश के तरफ से रिकॉर्ड चाहिए, तो उसका संपूर्ण रूप से उपयोग ये वेबसाइट के ऊपर जाके आपको हो सकता है। वैसे ही कई अच्छे सारे पुस्तक जो हमें ओपन सोर्स से मिले हुए हैं, ऐसे पुस्तकों का संगठन भी, ऐसे पुस्तकों का एकत्रीकरण भी हमने हमारे वेबसाइट के ऊपर किया हुआ है। और इसी वेबसाइट के ऊपर हमारे मेंबरशिप का भी लिंक है। आप अगर वहां जाएंगे और मेंबरशिप के ऊपर क्लिक करेंगे तो आपके सामने एक फॉर्म होगा, उसमें आप आपका सारा इंफॉर्मेशन भर के एंड में आपको मेंबर इसका पेमेंट का भी लिंक आएगा, जहां पर 200 रुपए ही आपको देने हैं। वार्षिक मेंबरशिप है, और जैसे ही आप मेंबरशिप देते हो, विद इन फ्यू आवर्स आपको उसका सर्टिफिकेट भी आपके ईमेल पे मिल जाता है दैट यू हैव रजिस्टर्ड विद मुक्ता एंड यू आर नाउ मेंबर फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर ईयर फॉर मुक्ता। सो आप सभी से मेरा अनुरोध है कि मुक्ता की मेंबरशिप जरूर ले। मुक्ता के जो भी कार्यक्रम हम संगठनात्मक रूप को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए जो करते हैं, उसमें जरूर आपका सहयोग करें, योगदान करें, और जो भी आपकी समस्याएं हैं वो संगठन तक पहुंचे, ताकि संगठन के तौर पर हम उसका जरूर कुछ न कुछ समाधान आपके लिए दे सके। यही मैं आप सब लोगों को रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं, और आज के इस कार्यक्रम को आगे लेने के लिए मैं मेघना मैडम से विनती करता हूं। धन्यवाद।
Thanks, Subhash sir. It's a complete descriptive, explanation. How does Mukta work, and how can we register for the Mukta, with a complete guidelines for it. Thanks a lot, sir, for telling everybody who has joined newly how does organization work and what are the norms, protocols to get into Mukta. Now we are leading ahead and very impatient to listen to our guest today. Before going and calling him, inviting him on the platform, on the stage, on the dais, I would like to say here is the life that we are living, we are leading. We may die with our ideology. Definitely, we are living the life with our ideology, and we'll die with the ideology, some ideology. Everybody has in their life. Similarly, our communication, our success, or the failure, they all depend upon some of the ideas a person carries in his life. Once Vivekananda said, take up one idea, make that idea your life, dream it, think it, and live on the idea. Right. So today I would like to welcome Dr. Narayan Shankar Gadde, who is Assistant Professor in Department of Philosophy in University of Mumbai. He holds multiple degrees, MA, MPhil, PhD, PGCC, Diploma in Yoga with NET and SET both. His area of specialization is Vedanta philosophy, philosophy of religion, comparative religion, moral philosophy, Buddhist philosophy. His area of interest is quite interesting. Jain philosophy, yoga philosophy, social political philosophy. Now, I would like to call upon our guest of today, Dr. Narayan Shankarji, to take up this dais and enlighten us with the teachings of Swami Vivekananda.
Can I listen me?
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Yes. Okay. All respected members of Mumbai University and College Teachers Association and other all respected for that is the today's function. At the outset, I would like to thanks to organizer. There are the two purpose. That is one purpose. Actually, they give the opportunity to me to discuss or to Swami Vivekananda's education with special reference to be and make. And the second important reason, that is the topic. I like the very much, that is a topic, that is a Kartavy Bodh Divas. Actually, it is a very, very important, because at present condition in modern time, actually the work seeking is going on. Everywhere there is work seeking, which is called as Kam Chori. And in this critical situation, actually they arranged the Kartavy Bodh Divas. It is the very, very important. But only thing is that this Kartavy Bodh Divas must not be the one day. Actually, Kartavy Bodh Divas must be every day. Actually, this is the very, very important. Because when we are going to celebrate the different types of the days, Mahila Day, Balak, that is Children Day, etc. But the important point is that actually we are going to celebrate that is only one day, but actually it is not sufficient. Whatever we are going to celebrate the different types of the days, but we must actually celebrate that is the 365 or the 66 days of the year. Actually, this is very important. And therefore, this idea or the topic is the very, very important. Therefore, I am very, very happy actually to see this subject. Now, if you think about the Kartavy Bodh Divas or the which is called there should be the awareness of the duty, and it is the very important. And today we are going to discuss Kartavy Bodh Divas. Actually, we must celebrate in each and every day with the help of the subject is Swami Vivekananda's views on education with special reference to the to be and make. There are two, what we are going to do at present. Actually, there are the two clear cut or the, which is called as a very, very clear, that is a two subjects. The first, which is called as education. What is education? This is the first point. And what is education according to Swami Vivekananda's view? And the third point is also that is a very, very important. Actually, this is also the concept of the Swami Vivekananda, which is called as a to be and make. To be and make, this is the concept of the Swami Vivekananda, and this is also very, very important. And therefore, we are going to discuss this subject in that is the three steps. First, which is called as education. Second, what is education according to the Swami Vivekananda? And third, what is the concept of the to be and make of the Swami Vivekananda? I have also prepared the that is a PPT also. Just I am going to present it. Yes, are slides visible?
Yes, sir. It's presentable now. Yeah.
Okay. See, actually, there is a need to see actually what is education. If you think about the education word is the very, very important word, and if you think about this education word, this is the, again we can say that this word also the holistic word also. Then we have to think about actually what is education. If you think about the etymological meaning of the education, that is education comes from the educare, or which means to draw out. Actually, this word is to draw out is a very, very important word. Draw out means actually already there is, and we have to only draw out. In human beings' life, if you think about the human beings' life, there are different types of the, that is virtues, or different types of the sublime values in human beings' life. And at the time of the birth of the human being, actually all these are the sublime human beings there are. But the important point is that all these are the sublime values, or the different types of the, which is called as values, or the different types of the principles already present in the human being's life at the time of the birth. But the important point is that all they are in the potential form. And we know that everything which is in a potential form, actually there is no use to the human being. And therefore there is a badly need to convert this potential, which is in a potential form, there is a need to convert into dynamic form. And it is applicable to everywhere. Suppose there is a dam, and in dam there is a water, and actually until where there is this water in a potential form, actually there is no use. There is a need to give the dynamicness to this water. Then we can convert this electricity. And suppose I only drink the water also. Therefore, in drinking the water also, actually there is a need to give the dynamicness to the water. And therefore, there is one thing is very, very true in human beings' life, or everywhere in science and technology also, whichever in the potential form, it must be converted into dynamic form. And if you think about the different types of the values in human beings' life, at the time of the birth, all they are the potential form. There is a need to convert into the dynamic form, and this dynamic form, the important agent to convert the potential form into dynamic form is education. and therefore it is said that to draw out. And therefore the Swami Vivekananda said that each and every human being is a divine but the potential, and this potential divine potential must be converted into dynamic form. Actually this is the real meaning of the education. And therefore again the second definition which is given by the Swami Vivekananda about the education, that education is the manifestation of the perfection already in the human. Here the key word is the already in man, already in the human being. This is the key word. There are, we have to only the convert into, that is manifestation is the very, very important, which is a hidden form. There is a need of the manifestation. Then the third point, if we think about the education, education must help us to manifest the infinite knowledge within, or it must be result in man making, or it must be strengthen the faith and pride in ourselves as a nation. It must focus on the character building, or it must be helpful assimilation of the ideas, or it must enable the student to learn. It must enable to individuals to find the solution to the challenge of the life. It must not only give the idea but also give the culture. The culture is the very important, and it must be helped to develop the power of concentration. Actually all these are the which is called as a true education, or the real meaning of the education. Now one thing is a very, very concrete, or one thing is a very, very important. If we see all these are the concept of the definition, all these are the consideration of the, that is the education. And therefore one thing is very, very concrete, the knowledge is not equal to information. Knowledge is not to collect the only information. This is the very important. Now at present condition, what happens? At present condition, to collect the huge data, to collect the huge information is considered as a knowledge. But to collect the information, to collect the huge information, actually it is not knowledge. And suppose to collection of the huge information, suppose there is a knowledge, then laptop be considered as a very wise or the very knowledgeable, or which laptop, computer, etc. Or if you go to the railway station, in railway station actually there is a suppose there is a person, actually he knows all the timetable of the schedule and departure timetable of the railway, then this huge information we can't say that this is the knowledge. And therefore at present condition, what is the problem? At present condition, it is said that actually to collection of the huge data, huge information is called as a knowledge. But knowledge is not to collect the huge information or to collect the data. This is the very, very important point about, if we think about the knowledge. Then what is exactly knowledge? One thing is a definite, that the knowledge is not a collection of the huge data or the huge information. Then what is actually knowledge? Now important point is that knowledge is equal to virtue. This is the very, very important point, and this has been stated by the Socrates also, Bhagavad Gita also, in our Vedanta philosophy also. Everywhere it is said that the knowledge means virtue. Virtue which is called as a sadgun, which is called as a moral value, which is called as ethical values. This is the knowledge. But again here the important point is that suppose there are different types of the virtue, suppose there are the different types of the values in my only head, but it's not action. This is also called, this is also such type of the knowledge. Say that this is the knowledge. Virtue or the ethical values or the moral values must be in actual day-to-day practical life. This is the very important point. And therefore knowledge is equal to virtues in action, virtue in day-to-day practical life. And therefore in Marathi it is called as a, that is a bole taise chale tyachi vandavi pavale. This is the very important. There must be action according to the thoughts. There must be the practical, that is a day-to-day life according to the different types of the principles or different types of the ethics, etc. Actually, and therefore knowledge is called as a virtue. Now the important point is that if you think about this knowledge, virtue, etc., actually this is the core part of the education. This is the essential part of the education. And therefore, Swami Vivekananda's integrated definition of the education. This is the very important. I deliberately use the word integrated. Swami Vivekananda's integrated definition of education. And what is the Swami Vivekananda's integrated definition of the integrated definition of the education? Swami Vivekananda has said that we want that education by which character is formed, strength of mind is increased, the intellect is expanded, and by which one can stand on one's feet. This is the very, very integrated definition of the Swami Vivekananda. Actually, the integrated definition means actually here each and everything actually included in this definition. And therefore, today we are going to think about the depth thinking about this definition. Each and every word we are going to think about actually in this definition. We want that education by which character is formed. That is the first word in this definition, that is the character. First word in this definition is the character. Actually, I am going to request that is organizer, please tell me the time when actually in front of me actually there is no time, and therefore please tell me time actually when we are going to stop. Is it clear, madam?
Yeah, sure, sir. Yeah.
Okay. And therefore, actually, if you think about this definition, this is the integrated definition, because in this definition, actually, there is inclusion of the each and everything. See here, the first word here, that is the character. The character, if you think about the character is the differentiating quality of the human being. This is the very important. Character is the differentiating human being, or the differentiating quality of the human being. In Sanskrit, it is called as a Vyavachhatak Lakshan. Vyavachhatak Lakshan, character or the Charitriya is the Vyavachhatak Lakshan of the human being. What does mean Vyavachhatak Lakshan? Or what does mean that is a differentiating quality? Means here, the human being is different from the other non-human animal. And therefore, character is applicable. This term character is applicable to only that is the human being, not to the other human being. And therefore, we can't say that the character of the dog is degraded or the character of that is any animal is improved. That means we are not going to, we are going to condemn the other non-human animals, but non-human, all animals actually they live with the help of the instinct. But it is not case of the human being. If you think about human beings alive, that is the character. And character, what does mean the character is also very important. Now at present condition, the character word has become the very smooth, but the character word is a multifaceted. It is a very important. And this character word, we can say that another word for the character, which is called as wisdom. Wisdom is very important. And if you think about the wisdom and cleverness, actually these are not the synonym words. If you ask the students to the 10th standard, please write the synonym words for the wisdom. Actually, they will write the cleverness. But the cleverness is the different thing, and the wisdom is the different thing. If you think about the philosophically, because wisdom is connected with the character, and cleverness is connected with the only recall power of the human being. And therefore, this character is the very, very important. And what does mean exactly character? Now at present condition, actually the meaning and explanation and the interpretation of the character, so-called scholar actually, they try to always say with a very, very difficult way, or which is called as the wrong interpretation. What does it mean? There is which is called as a simple and the very important the philosophical meaning of the character. That is, suppose I have already said that suppose there are different types of the moral values and ethical values, and suppose there is one person and his or her life is according to the principles of the ethics or the principles of the moral value, then we can say that this person is with character, or there is a character in his or her life. And therefore the character means bole taise chale tache vandavi pavle. Actually this is the real definition of the character. This is the very important. And if you think about the character is the very, very important. And therefore, importance of the character has been stated by the Billy Graham. But actually he said, when wealth is lost, nothing is lost. Wealth means money. When money is lost, nothing is lost. When health is lost, something is lost. When the character is lost, everything lost. There is, and therefore we can say that the human being minus character is equal to 0. There is no meaning to the human being's life. And if you think about the Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar once rightly said that knowledge without character is dangerous, and man of knowledge without character is more dangerous than a wild beast. And actually, if you think about Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar's thinking of this character, the followers of the Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar don't want to talk about this statement of the Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. Leaving this statement, they will talk everything, but they don't want to talk this statement of the Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. This is very important. And the same thing has been stated by the Swami Vivekananda in his definition of the education. Now, so many days I was thinking that actually why Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar said that in this way. Dr. Babasaheb actually he said that the knowledge without character is dangerous, and man of knowledge without character is more dangerous than wild beast. So many days I was thinking that why didn't Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar said that equal to beast? He did not say the equal to beast. He said that below than beast. So many days I was thinking, and one day I got the answer. Why did Babasaheb Ambedkar say in this way? Below than beast. Why the human being is not equal to beast? If you think about the non-human beings, non-human being animal, there is no fear of the tiger from the other tiger. Normally there is no fear of the elephant from the other elephant. But the dangerous thing is that at present condition, that is the more fear to the human being is from the other human being. This is a very strange and dangerous thing. Now at present condition, human being, actually there is no fear from the other animal, there is no fear from the everything. But the great dangerous fear to the at present condition to human being, to the other human being. And therefore Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar said that suppose there is a so-called human being and he or she has no character, or she or he has no, that is a wisdom in his life, then actually such type of the human being is more dangerous than a wild beast. And therefore it is said that the wisdom and skill must be go hand in hand in human being's life. Suppose there is only skill without wisdom, such type of the human being is going to exploit the human being in the other human being in the society. And therefore actually at the first word in the definition of the Swami Vivekananda, there is a character, or which is called also wisdom, and Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar is also said the same thing. Okay. Now, if you think about the second point in his definition, the second point in his definition, actually there is with the help of the education, must be increase the strength of the mind. Or the strength of the mind must be increased. The second point of the definition, which is given education in the Swami Vivekananda's definition. Now see, actually, if you think about the human being's life totally depend on the condition of the mind. The condition of the mind, that is mind is developed or the mind is degraded. This mind is very important, and therefore in Marathi it is called as जसं मन तसं मनुष्य आणि जसं अन्न तसं मन. जसं अन्न तसं मन आणि मन तसं मनुष्य. Means if you want to say that is some particular human being is degraded or the progressed, then it can be decided on the condition of the mind, and therefore the mind is the very important. And at present condition, if you think about the human being, suppose at present condition human being is degraded means actually his or her mind is a feeble mind. There is a fearful mind, and there is not, which is called as a strong mind. there must be the strength of there must be the actually the strength must be increased to the mind, and this is also that is a very very important. Now at present condition, if you think about the human being, now suppose there are the clothes of the human being are going to become the dirt, there is a dirty, our house is going to become the dirt, and therefore there is a need to that is a sweep the house, that is the every day. Our body is going to become the dirt, therefore there is a need to take the bath every day. Our clothes is also going to become the that is dirty, and therefore there is a need to wash the clothes that every day. Likewise, our mind is going to become the dirty each and every day. Not only each and every day, but every moment and every step. There is a dirtiness of the mind. And the important point is that actually mind is going to become the dirty, but actually so many decades there is no provision how to clean this mind. Then what will be the condition of such type of the mind? There is no provision in education, there is no provision in home also, there is no provision each and every system. Cleanliness of the mind. And the cleanliness of the mind is the very, very important. And how we are going to actually, what does mean there is a dirtiness of the mind? What does mean the dirtiness of the mind? Dirtiness, if you think about the mind, there are the two types of the mind, conscious mind and that is the subconscious mind. Unconscious also, but there are the two types of the mind, which is called as a conscious mind, and the second which is called as a subconscious mind. And the important point is that the conscious mind is only 25% and subconscious mind is 75%. It is just like an iceberg. Iceberg, that is upper portion is only 25% and the below water there is a 75% which we can't see. Likewise, there are the subconscious mind 75% and conscious mind that is 25%. Now, with the help of the fear, with the help of the law, etc., we can control that is the 25%. But what about the subconscious mind, which is 75%? And there is no consideration of that is a cleanliness of the such type of the mind. And the Swami Vivekananda give that is the different types of the means of the instruments, concentration, meditation, etc., to clean the mind. And therefore, according to Swami Vivekananda, actually, if you think about the education, in education there must be provision to the cleanliness of the mind. In education, there must be actually to clean the mind. Actually, this is not related with any sect, any sampradaya, etc. If you think about the nature of the mind or the type of the mind, actually, it is the same, irrespective of the sect, irrespective of the religion, irrespective of the caste, irrespective of all these things. The nature of the mind is the same. That is the throughout in human beings' life. And therefore, in education, there must be provision to that is the strengthen the mind. And such type of the education, which is called as a real education. At present condition, actually, if you think about the human being's life, there is a feeble mind, there is a fearful mind, there is not, which is called as a strong mind. And therefore, actually, this is the very, very important concept, which is called as the strength of the mind's increased. Next word in definition of the education of the Swami Vivekananda, which is called as the intellect is expanded. The intellect is expanded. Actually, this is also very, very important. At present condition, if you think about the intellect of the human being, actually, it is always that is a contracted, which is called as a contracted. There is no open-minded. Open-mindedness. Actually, there is a no, which is called as a openness, etc. And always there is a bias sort of condition. And actually, this condition is due to only, which is called as intellect. Here, actually, there is one most important point we have to consider, that is the intellect or the buddhi is not, which is called as a physical brain. Physical brain is the different thing and intellect or the buddhi is the different thing. If you think about the physical brain, means there is a right side, left side, there are different types of the parts which has been that is explained by the biologist or the biologist, scientist, etc. But intellect, buddhi is the different thing. Intellect is the different thing. And actually this intellect or the buddhi, actually which is called as a very, that is a rational part of the human being. The buddhi means which is called as a, that is a different types of the ideal principles. There are different types of which is called as a egalitarian principles, or which is also called as which are the helpful to develop the healthy, that is relationship among the human being, etc. Such a type of the such a type of the buddhi, such a type of the which is called as a principle of the intellect must be expanded. And therefore this is the very important concept. And therefore if you think about the Buddha, actually originally actually he was the Gautam, he was not the Buddha. But after doing the different types of the, that is a sadhana and doing the tapasya, actually he obtained the Buddhatva. And therefore he is the Buddha actually, and therefore it is called as a Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, such a type of the egalitarian principles which are helpful to the healthy relation, increase the healthy relationship in among the society. And therefore this concept is also very important. And therefore suppose there is a very high level IQ, intelligence quotient, high level IQ. Suppose there is a high level IQ, and therefore with this high level IQ, high recall memory power, suppose I become the collector. But suppose I am become the collector with the help of the cleverness, but I am the corrupt collector. I am going to do the different types of the bribe. I am going to exploit the people in the society. Then there is no expansion of the intellect. I have only recall memory. I have only good the brain, which is able to recall, that is a high recall power. And therefore such type of the collector, I am going to take one example of the collector, but it is applicable to each and every field. Suppose I am correct. Suppose I am corrupt. I am going to take the bribe. I am going to exploit the people. Then I can say that I am only clever, but I am not wise person. And therefore wisdom is a different and cleverness is the different. And therefore in Marathi there are very good words. There are Sushikshit, Ashikshit, Sakshar and Nirakshar. Then suppose there is a one class 1 officer or the collector or each and every field, suppose there is a corrupt human being. Then with the help of these 4 words, we have to use 2 words. And how are going to describe such type of the person who is class 1 officer? Actually he is the class 1 or she is the class 1 officer. Of course she is the clever. Of course she is the clever. But how? How we can describe? We can describe, that is Sakshar Asikshit. And therefore Sakshar and Asikshit, these 2 words come together. Sakshar and Asikshit. Sakshar means only there is a information of the law, information of the different types of the rules and regulation. I am not going to use the knowledge of rule. Knowledge of rule or knowledge of different types of the law. To rules and law, we can't use the word knowledge. We can use the word, that is the information. I have the information, huge information about the rules, laws, etc. But I am not the good human being. Then there is only Sakshar and Asikshit. But suppose there is a village and there is an old woman, but she can't write anything, she can't read anything, but she has the different types of the moral values, ethical values in her life. Then we can describe such type of the old woman, that is a Nirakshar but Sushikshit. She is the Sushikshit. Sushikshit means she has the different types of the culture, sanskar, everything. And therefore this intellect is very important. Again, I am going to explain that this intellect doesn't mean the physical brain, doesn't mean the different types of the, that is a huge, that is a recall power of memory power. And therefore Buddhatva. And therefore Gautam Buddha has said that each and every human being is a potential Buddha. And to convert this potential Buddha into dynamic Buddha is called as a expanded intellect. with the help of the education, our intellect must be expanded, must expand. Suppose there is no expansion of the intellect, there is no provision of the expansion of the intellect in our education, it is not education. We can say that only that is the training center, or only collection of the different types of the, which is called as a information, etc. And the last point, which is very important in definition of the Swami Vivekananda in education, he said that by which one can stand on one's feet. Means actually this word, if you think about that is mind, if you think about the intellect, these are the two related with the wisdom, character. And the last part of this definition is related with the skill, competence. Means actually this is very important, by which one can stand on one's feet. By taking education, actually I must be able to survive myself. I must be able to actually, my livelihood I can earn with the help. My livelihood must be, that is a very good. I must not live by the different types of the, that is the wrong way, buy, borrow, steal, but I must live that is a very that is a esteemed way, or which is called as a confident way, or which is called as a very good way. One can stand on one's feet. This is also, that is a very, very important. And therefore Swami Vivekananda's definition of the education, actually there is an inclusion of the shreyas and prayers, which is called as a real scientific spiritual development, along with the, which is called as a materialistic development. Both, this is called as a shreyas and prayers. And therefore there is a very, very, which is called as a golden balance in the definition of the education of the Swami Vivekananda. There is a proper golden balance between the shreyas and prayers, which is called as a scientific spiritual development, along with the, which is called as a materialistic development. And therefore with the help of the education, I must be able to earn my livelihood. That is a very proper way, very, not that is the wrong way. Okay. Now present condition, actually there are the different types of the degrees, but these are the only papers. There are only papers, actually they, with the help of different types of the degrees, actually there are so many, that is the students, actually they are unable to obtain the different types of the, it may be job, or it may be business, or whatever it may be. But the important point is that actually everyone is unable. And therefore this last part is also important. Okay. Now I have already explained this point. Character, wisdom. Character is also called as a wisdom. Wisdom is also called as a character. Therefore, we can say that character and wisdom, these two words are the synonym words. Definitely, we can say that. The character, wisdom, and skill and competence must go hand in hand in human beings' life. This is very important. Character, which is called as wisdom, and skill and competence must go hand in hand in human beings' life. I have already said that. Suppose there are skill without character, without wisdom, then with the help of such type of the skill, without character, without wisdom, the person who has the different types of the skill or competence, he is going to exploit the human being, the society. And suppose there is a character and wisdom without skill, there is such type of the character or wisdom is also, there is no use in human beings' life. Suppose there is wisdom, there is a character, and there is no skill, then such type of the wisdom, such type of the character, actually there is a difficult to survive the life in this society. And therefore there must be the character, wisdom, along with the skill and competence. And therefore it is said that the character, wisdom, skill must be go hand in hand in human beings' life. This is the very important. And actually, if you think about the Swami Vivekananda's thinking, Swami Vivekananda actually give the thought, character, wisdom, and skill and competence, that is must be present in human beings' life at a time. There should be character wisdom, and there should be the skill and competence, etc. And therefore, last part of his definition, actually, this is last part, by which one can stand on one's feet, means actually skill. This last part, that is one can stand on one's feet, this is related with the skill. And this two part, that mind, strength, character, and character is also actually, this is related with the, that is the first part, which is called as a character or the wisdom. And therefore there is a golden balance. And if you think about our Gurukul education system, in Gurukul education system, actually there was a provision of the character development or the wisdom development in human beings' life, and the skill development also in our old Gurukul system. In our old Gurukul system, whatever said the Swami Vivekananda, actually there was present in old Gurukul system. At 12 o'clock, there was the character development, wisdom development, and it was compulsory. Character development, wisdom development was compulsory. And the afternoon session, there was the skill development or the competence development. And therefore, there are the 4 Ved, Rigved, Yajurved, Samved, Atharvaved. Along with these 4 Ved, there are the 4 Upved. One is known at all, that is Ayurved. But along with Ayurved, there is a Sapataved, Gandharva Ved, and Dhanurved. And all these are the Upved, which is called as science and technology. And the Ved, which is responsible for the character of the wisdom development, Vedanta, Upanishad, etc. And therefore, in morning session, actually there was the creation of the good human being, and afternoon there was the skill development. And therefore, there was a character, there was a skill, and therefore there was a prosperity in India. Why there was a prosperity in India? Because there was a wisdom also, character also, along with there is a skill and competence also, and there is prosperity in India. And therefore in Marathi it was said that भारतात सोन्याचा धूर निघत होता. भारतात सोन्याचा धूर निघत होता याचा अर्थ प्रत्यक्ष सोनं जाळत होते असा त्याचा अर्थ नाहीये, तर भारतामध्येही सर्व संपन्नता होती. का? कारण शहाणपण होतं, चारित्र्य होतं, त्याच्याबरोबर स्किल होतं, त्याच्याबरोबर कौशल्य होतं. आणि म्हणून त्या काळामध्ये आपल्याला म्हणजे टाइमपास करणारा एक पण माणूस भेटत नव्हता. किंवा ऍक्च्युअली वी कॅन से दॅट देयर वॉज नो फ्रेज द टाइमपास. Time is a very dangerous phrase, because if we think about the time is unconquerable. Time is not going to pass, and therefore it is said that kalo na yata vaime vayata. Time is not going to pass. We are going to pass in the time, and therefore we are going to become old, from young to old. And therefore there was no phrase which is called as a time pass. Actually, and therefore there is importance of the character, vision, development, and skill. Suppose there is a both in human being's life, then there is no which is called as a person who is going to take free of cost. There is no person who is only just time passing. Always there are the which is called as a good, that is always in work. What you are going to, that is a Kartavy, Bodh Divas. Kartavy, there is awareness of the duty, there is awareness of our work, and they were doing the work as worship. Karma Devo Bhava. It is very important. And when is it possible? Karma Devo Bhava, or work is worship. It is only possible when there is a character along with the skill, when there is a wisdom along with the competence, etc. And therefore, this is the very, very important concept in human beings' life. Now, there is one important point is that if you think about this character, wisdom, or ethical values, or the moral values, what is character, what is wisdom? I have already explained that the wisdom or the character means there must be actual behavior of the human being according to moral values or the ethical values. But when we talk about the moral values and ethical values, there are different types of the debate. There are different types of the opinion. It can be said that suppose there is one thing which is moral to me, same thing is not moral to other person. And therefore it is said that the moral philosophy, moral values, moral ethics, it is not absolute, it is relative. It is said that. Suppose one thing is moral in India, same thing is not moral in other country. Same thing is moral to me, is not moral to other person. It is said that. And therefore it is said that the moral philosophy or the morality or the ethics is not absolute, it is relative. But the important point is that the ethics or the moral is not relative, it is absolute. It is misunderstanding. Ethics or the moral values is not absolute, it is misunderstanding. It is relative. And there is one more thing. How we are going to decide one thing is bad or good? Same thing. The main function of the moral philosophy of the ethics to decide which thing is God, which thing is good and which thing is bad. Which action is good or which action is bad. How to decide? And it is considered it is very difficult. It is very difficult to decide which thing is good and which thing is bad. Which action is bad or which action is good. I will give one example. Suppose there is a leader of the village, Sarpanch, not Sarpanch, but leader of the village. And suppose there is a scarcity of drinking water. Then he dig the well and he made the provision to drinking water to the villagers. Is it good or bad? The answer will be good. Answer will be the good because there is a provision to drinking water to the villagers. But the problem is that after 2 months there is a election in the village, and he want to purchase the vote, and therefore he did the did that is the well and made the provision of the water. Actually, superficially it seems to be good, but it is not really good. And the important point is that to decide which thing is bad and which thing is good, there is a 4 statement. With this 4 statement, we can decide which action is good and which action is bad. These 4 statements, and it comes from the Bhagavad Gita, or it comes from the Kant's philosophy, Kant's moral philosophy. The first statement, first statement is very clear. Bad action done with bad motives are bad. Bad actions done with bad motives are definitely bad. It is very easy to understand. But the second point is very important. Good actions done with the bad motives are always bad. And a human being is going to deceive in this second statement. Good actions done with the bad motives are always bad. And therefore, we can't decide which action is bad, which action is good according to the direct action, but we have to see intention. What is the intention behind the action? What is the intention behind action? The third is very important. Bad action done with the bad motives are always good. The bad actions done with good motives. Suppose there is a mother, and mother actually he is actually trying to actually suppose there is a mother and he beat his children. Okay, and suppose there is some which is called as other person, he is also going to beat the children. There is a difference. Mother is going to beat the children because for his that is goodness, and therefore action is bad. Suppose if you think about doctor is going to cut the stomach, and there is a thief is also going to cut the stomach of the human being. Action is the same. Cutting the stomach by the doctor and cutting the stomach by thief. Action is the same. But the thief's action, that intention is bad, and therefore this action is the bad. And doctor's action to cutting the stomach, so action is the bad. But if you think about, ultimately this action will become the good because the intention was the good. And therefore good action done with the good motives are definitely good. And therefore it is very easy to decide which action is good and which action is bad. If you apply this 4 statement, and this is called as a duty, as the sake of the duty, which has been stated by the Bhagavad Gita also and Kant also. And therefore, if you think about this ethics or the value or the knowledge, actually, this is a very, very, which is called as an absolute. Okay. Now, if you think about, okay, all these are the, which is called as the content of education or a definition, the different types of the factors of education. That is, there must be character, there must be intellect must be developed. There are the intellect must be developed, character must be formed, and strength of the mind must be increased. Along with, we can say that there must be, we can able to achieve our livelihood with the best way, with the proper way. All these are the, which is called as a, the, the, the different types of the factors are the, which is called as a very essential component of the education. Very essential component or the very most important component of the education. These are the most essential or the core, or which is called as a most important component of the education. Okay, but the most important point is that how to bring the moral values in actual practical life. This is very important. How to bring the moral values in actual practical life. There are so many books about the moral values. There are so many lectures about the moral values. There are different types of the good analysis of the moral values, etc. But the important point is that no one is saying that how to bring these moral values in actual practical life. This is the very important point. Suppose there are the description of the moral values in book. There are in lectures. Suppose there are very good lecture on moral values, ethical values. But the speaker actually speaker did not say how to bring in actual practical life. Actually, this is the very important. This is the very important. And actually, if, with the help of these moral values, actually there is a righteous conduct of the human being. Righteous conduct of the human being. And therefore, main motive of the education must be the righteous conduct, good conduct of the human being. And therefore, if you think about logo of our university, what is the logo of our university? Mumbai University, in which we are going to teach, in which we are going to, there hundreds, thousands of the students is going to take the degree of the Mumbai University. The logo of the Mumbai University, there is written Shilavrata Phala Vidya. Shilavrata Phala Vidya. The seal means character. And therefore, what will be the outcome of this learning? That is the character build-up. This is the logo of our university. But unfortunately, this is very small. We can't read this word, Silavrata Phala Vidya. We can't read this word, that is the Silavrata Phala Vidya. Okay? Seal. Seal means which is called as a character. Seal means which is called as a wisdom. And Silavrata Phala Vidya. Okay? This is the outcome of that is the learning. Okay? But the important point is that actually there is a value to the moral values. There are value to the moral value if they are in day-to-day practical life, in actual life. They are not only that is the talking subject. They are not only the discussion subject. This is the subject of the living. If you think about the moral values, these are the subject matter of the living. And therefore, again, we remember the logo of the Savitribai Phule Pune Vidyapit. Logo of the Savitribai Phule Vidyapit, Yah Kriyavan Sah Pandit. Yah Kriyavan Sah Pandit. Here, Pandit means not that is a ritualistic Brahmin. Here, Pandit means wise person, not clever person. Who is wise person? Yah Kriyavan Sah Pandita. Whose action is according to his thoughts, whose action is according to his principles or values. Such type of the person is called as a wise person. This is the logo of the Savitribai Phule Pune Vidyapit. Yah Kriyavan Sah Pandita. And the Mumbai Vidyapit's logo, Silavrata Phala Vidya. Both two logo are the very, very attractive to me, always. And therefore, suppose there are moral values only in head, not in action, only for discussion, only for debate, there is no use. There must be actual practical behavior of the human being, day-to-day life, according to this moral value. But the important point is that how these moral values we can bring in actual practical life. And here Swami Vivekananda give the very concrete, very revolutionary, and a very, very permanent solution. And this solution is, which is called as a to be and make. Swami Vivekananda's revolutionary solution, that is a to be and make. Why to be and make? Because one thing is definite, one thing is very concrete. Moral values cannot be taught, it can be caught. Moral values cannot be taught. This is a very, very important concept. Moral values cannot be taught, it can be caught. Caught means, suppose in front me actually there is a mobile. I can caught, I can pick up. I can pick up. Now today there are different types of the complaints. Students are going to, that is a life of the student is going to become, that is a degraded, etc., etc., etc. There are so many complaints about the student from the LKG to the higher degree, that is the PhD. The complaints of the society. There is no samskar there are no samskar in students. The life of the student is going to become, that is a degraded. That there are hundreds of the complaints, but there is no meaning to the complaint. Why? Moral values cannot be taught, it can be caught. And for catching purpose, there must be the value surcharged atmosphere in the educational campus, in the home, everywhere. There must be such type of the atmosphere. And therefore, at present condition, if I want inculcate the moral values in the student's life, then first the life of the professor, life of the teacher must be with value. Suppose there is no life of the with the value of actual practical behavior according to the moral values, ethical values of the professor, teacher, etc., then there will be no moral values in the student or the any person who is contact such type of the person. This is the very, very, which is called as a naked truth. This is naked truth. Try to understand. Moral values cannot be taught, it can be caught. And for catching purpose, there must be the value surcharged atmosphere in the different in the university campus, in college campus, in schools campus, etc. That means first there is a professor, teachers, whatever it may be, from the LKG to the PhD card, whatever it may be. First, the life of the teacher and professors must be, which is called as with moral values in action. And therefore, in philosophy, there are two terms: philosophy of action and philosophy in action. This philosophy in action is related with the moral values in actual practical life. In actual practical life. And therefore, due to this principle, moral values cannot be taught, it can be caught. And for catching purpose, actually there should be, instead of the should, there must be the life of the professor, life of the teacher must be with the value in actual practical life, day-to-day life. And for this purpose, Swami Vivekananda's give the concept to be and make. To be and make, this is the very, very revolutionary concept of the Swami Vivekananda in education. What does mean to be and make? What does mean the to be and make? One thing is definite, one thing is concrete, moral values cannot be taught, it can be caught. And for catching purpose, what we have to do in education, or what must be in education? To be and make. To be and make, Marathi meaning of the to be and make means घडता घडता आपल्या संपर्कामधले घडत असतात. घडता घडता घडवायचे पण नाहीये. We can't actually create some life of the human being. We can't create someone's life with the moral values or ethical values. We can't. Never. Then what is the concrete solution? Concrete solution, actually I am professor, I am a teacher, and I am going to become. मी स्वतः घडतोय, मी घडण्याचा प्रयत्न करतोय, आणि मी घडता घडता माझ्या संपर्कामध्ये आलेले विद्यार्थी, माझ्या संपर्कामध्ये आलेले माझे घरचे कुणी असतील, ते ऑटोमॅटिक त्या ठिकाणी घडत असतात. This is the which is called as a to be and make. And Swami Vivekananda's this concept, actually today there is a total negligence to this concept. आज या कन्सेप्ट का पूर्णपणे दुर्लक्ष आहे. पूर्णपणे दुर्लक्ष आहे की टू बी अँड मेक, मला स्वतःला घडायचं आहे आणि मी स्वतः घडता घडता माझ्या संपर्कामध्ये आलेले सगळेजण घडत असतात. This is the only way to inculcate the moral values, ethical values in students' life or in lives of the each and every human being. This is the only solution. This is the only solution. Now what happens today? There is not a single human being who wants actually the wrong in the society. There is a not single human being who want that is the different types of the illegal actions in the society. Everyone is thinking that there must be good in the society. But the problem is that the good action, good thing, who will start? This is the problem. Who will start? I am thinking the good action must be start from the other person. And the other person is think that the good action or the good things must be start from the another person. And everyone is thinking in this way. And therefore there is a story. Actually the story is wrong or the story is right. This is the different thing. But the important essence of the story is important. There was one village. In that village actually there was no rain. And therefore the priest of the temple, in that village there was a temple. And priest said that actually there was no rain. And therefore tomorrow there will be, you have to bring, that is a one lota, that is the milk, or the one pot milk, and we have to that is give the abhishek to the Mahadev. The temple that is older, and therefore there was very small door, and there was only space, that is only pot will go. And there, suppose there are 100 person, and one person actually thought that actually at present condition there is a milk, and milk is that is very expensive, and why should I waste the milk? 99 people will bring the milk, then I will bring, that is I only that is one pot of the water. त्याने विचार केला 100 लोकातले सगळेजण दूध आणणार आहेत, माझा एक तांब्या जर पाणी घेऊन गेलं तर काय फरक पडणार आहे, कारण तेवढंच आपलं दूध वाचेल. आणि सगळ्यांनी दुधाचा अभिषेक त्या महादेवाच्या पिंडीला केला. And when priest opened the door, actually there was not a single drop of the milk. There was only water and water. Because हा एक जण शहाणा निघाला नाहीये, तर सगळ्यांनी हा विचार केला, मी एक तांब्या दूध पाणी घेतलं तर काय होईल, मी एक तांब्या पाणी घेतलं तर काय होईल. आणि व्हॉट इज द टोटल इफेक्ट? Total effect, that is a totally, there is not a single drop of that is the milk, all that is the water. Same thing is happening in our today's society. कोई अच्छा काम है ना, दूसरा करेगा, मुझे क्यों करना है, वो बोलता है वो दूसरा करेगा, total result is a nil result. And therefore why there is importance to this to be and make concept? In Swami Vivekananda, this to be and make concept says that I don't know others about the good works starting. I don't know others, but I have to start. I have to start myself. I don't know the other person. Everyone was thinking in this way. And therefore, actually, there is a great importance to the concept that is a to be and make. And this to be and make, and when there is suppose there is an inculcation of this concept in each and every human being's life, to be and make, मुझे खुद को गढ़ना है, मुझे खुद को बनना है, मुझे मेरा लाइफ चेंज करना है. And this is called as a man making education. This is called as a man making education. And when such type of the man making education, then there is a possibility of the awareness of the duty. Otherwise, it is not possible. And the to be and make, the concept of the to be and make says that I have to start from myself. I am not going to think that the good work will be start from the other person. I don't know for the other person. And here the Swami Vivekananda's concept has the great importance. Why? Because suppose there is one good thing we have to do. There are the two possibilities. This good thing must be done by the other person, or this good thing must be done by myself, by me. Now, which possibility in my hand? I have to do my work, it is my hand. And good things must be done by the other person, it is 100%, it is not in my hand. And which is 100% in my hand? I have to start myself, it is 100% in my hand. And which thing which is not in 100% in my hand, I am always thinking that thing, that fact. And I never think which thing is 100% in my life. Okay, this is called as a to be and make concept. And this to be and make concept is which is called as a very, very important concept. And therefore, in closing, let us remember Swami Vivekananda's sublime message: expansion is life and contraction is death. And this expansion is possible only with the help of the Swami Vivekananda's concept of the education. Swami Vivekananda's definition of the education, which include all factors of the human being's life. And contraction is always death. And suppose there is no proper education, on the name of the education, only there is a collection of the data, only collection of the information, then there will be the contraction, and contraction is always death. And therefore, actually, we will take into consideration that is the real meaning of the definition of the Swami Vivekananda's definition of the education. There is a real, which is called as a spiritual development, and real spiritual scientific development, and the real, which is called as a materialistic development. And then we can solve the different types of the today's problems, because today every thinker, every scholar describes the today's age of the crisis. Everywhere there is a crisis. There are the different types of the crisis, but the main crisis is the character crisis. Character crisis in each and every human being, and the character crisis in leadership. In our country, there is a character crisis in leadership. Such type of the character crisis must be removed with the help of the integrated definition of the education of the Swami Vivekananda. Actually, definitely we will try according to the Swami Vivekananda's definition, and we will try to improve our myself life first, and there will be the automatic improvement of the other person's life. And therefore, this is called as Atma Vipo Bhava in Vivekananda's philosophy, and Uddhare Atmanam Na Atmanam Vasadayet in Swami Vivekananda in Bhagavad Gita. And all these are the Bhagavad Gita essence, Swami Vivekananda, all these are essence contained in the definition of the education by the Swami Vivekananda. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kartavy sir. It's very pleasant to listen about Swami Vivekananda. I actually didn't know the meaning of education, that exactly the meaning of education is to draw out. अपने आप में से बाहर निकलना, to draw out. How to change the potential form into the dynamic form. Dr. Narayan Shankar, I would like to say something here. Few of the lines that I read somewhere, कि ये जिंदगी तो एक किताब है, ये जिंदगी तो एक किताब है, ये किताब भी क्या किताब है, इंसान जिल्द संवारने में व्यस्त है. जिल्द मीन्स द कवर संवारने में व्यस्त है और पन्ने बिखरने को तैयार है. So it is there that we are looking only the cosmetic looks. But today you taught how much character, strength of the mind, intellectual expansion, moral values, ethical values, good deed, bad actions important for us. You rightly mentioned that knowledge is different from information. You gave the example of computer, but I also think that life is just like a computer. At the end of the day, as computer asks us, are you sure to save the changes? It's true. How much we need to save the changes, how much we should, do not save it. It depends upon us. So we should not save the information, we should save the knowledge into it. Very wonderful explanation, sir. We were very pleasantly receiving all of our members, new one, old one. Very brilliant lecture we did listen today on Swami Vivekananda. We are doing in all spheres of our life. Somebody is commerce teacher, somebody is from library, somebody is all. Right, but where do we get the chance to listen about the philosophy? Today, you blessed us actually with your knowledge, which has been transmitted well into us. Thank you so much, sir. I would like to ask any of our member would like to ask any of question to Narayanji. Yes, sir. Chandrate sir, yes.
सर आप अनम्यूट करो सर, अनम्यूट करो, आपका म्यूट है सर.
हाँ, thank you, Dr. Megha. Dr. Garde sir, I am very much thankful to you for a very lucid explanation of what is education from the view of Swami Vivekananda. I am very happy to share with you that such type of Kartavy Bodh Karyakram are observed at the all India level in all the universities in thousands of number, and ours is one of them. And naturally, you have inspired our members, teachers. Definitely, what is the duty so that they can go beyond the call of duty? Certainly. Unless I understand what is the real meaning of education, how can I impart this to my students? आणि याच्यात तुम्ही जी कल्पना सांगितलीत की मी कोणी घडवणारा नाहीये, मी स्वतः घडत माझ्या सहवासात आलेले आपोआप त्याच्यातून घडत जातात, अशी जी संकल्पना आहे ही अक्षरशः खरी आहे. आणि असाच माणूस घडत असतो. मी कोणाला मदत करतोय आणि त्याला मी वर उचलतोय, ही कल्पना आपली अजिबात नाही. आणि दुसरं असं आहे की शिक्षकाचं जे कॅरेक्टर आहे, व्हॉट यू हॅव एक्सप्लेन डिस्क्राईब, कॅरेक्टर इज डेव्हलप्ड बिट बाय बिट, नॉट सडन. आणि त्यामुळे शिक्षकाने आपला व्यवहार विद्यार्थ्यांसोबतचा हा असा ठेवला पाहिजे की ज्याच्याकडे बघून विद्यार्थ्यांना प्रेरणा मिळाली पाहिजे. आणि आपलाही अनुभव असेल, माझाही आहे अनुभव, असे विद्यार्थी जेव्हा आपल्याला केव्हाही आयुष्यामध्ये पुढे भेटतात तेव्हा ते आपल्या पुढे नम्र असतात. आणि आजही माझा अनुभव असा आहे, डॉक्टर मेघा विल ॲग्री विथ मी, की जो शिक्षक चांगला आहे या दृष्टिकोनातून तो शिकवतो, त्याला विद्यार्थी संख्या भरपूर आहे. Otherwise, it is jokingly said that if you want some peaceful environment, go to classes. So there are no students. You can have a peace there. But when such type of a teacher with deep knowledge, he presents himself before the student, एका अर्थाने आपण जे म्हणलात, बोले तैसा चाले त्याची वंदावी पावले, हाच खरा मंत्र आहे. त्यामुळे शिक्षकाने आपला व्यवहार असाच ठेवला पाहिजे ज्यातून विद्यार्थी, ते तुम्ही जे म्हणलात ना, कॅनॉट बी टॉट बट कॉट, आहे नक्कीच तसंच आहे. विद्यार्थी हा पाहतो आणि पहिल्या लेक्चर मध्येच तो शिक्षकाचं पाणी झोकतो की अरे या वेदर आय शुड अटेंड हिज लेक्चर ऑर नॉट इन फ्युचर, पहिल्या लेक्चर मध्येच समजत आहे. आणि त्यामुळे या अर्थाने व्हॉट यू एनलाइटन्ड अस गोइंग बियॉन्ड द कॉल ऑफ ड्युटी, अरे पहिल्यांदा शिक्षणाचा खरा अर्थ काय आहे तो समजून घ्या. आणि विथ दिस लाइटन्ड माइंड when you go before the student, definitely there is no dearth of students at all. And therefore, I am very much thankful to you, Dr. Garde sir. I would like to meet you personally as and when the time permits and Corona permits us. But certainly, I will come personally, and on behalf of Mucta, I am very much thankful to you. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. You are welcome at any time, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thanks, Chandrati sir. Thanks, Darde sir. Narayan sir, Shekhar sir is our head of the family. It's Mukta is a family. He is our head. He's head
Certainly,
of our
certainly,
family.
ma'am. Certainly.
Yeah. So I would like to call upon now Dr. Vittal Sontake sir for Shanti Mantra.
Madam, before that, vote of thanks is there, and then Shanti Mantra. Sawan sir
Okay.
will present the vote of thanks first.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. So today, it's my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion to pay tribute to Swami Vivekananda ji on his birth anniversary. And today it's the Subhash Chandra Bose birth anniversary. We at Mumbai University and College Teachers Association, Mucta, every year we celebrate this Kartavy Bodh Divas. So on this day, on behalf of this Mukta and all our Mukta Karyakarani members, I want to extend a very heartily thanks to Honorable Dr. Narayan Shankar Gadde sir. He has removed his valuable time, Namaskar sir, valuable time from his busy schedule and came in this online platform and enlighten us with all the basic things which teachers should do when he teach to the students and what ethics, how it should be conducting himself, and all the other qualities sir has told us. So sir's views, are very important to all of us. So sir, on this occasion, you have shared your findings and opinions today on Swami Vivekananda ji's philosophies, his spiritualism, and principles of Vedanta. So his Swami Vivekananda ji was also a great teacher. He believes that the knowledge is inherent in man and already exists in each one of us. So the education is a part of our life, and the self-confidence we regain and the self-realization which we make, and which will come out with our hidden powers which are inside us. So sir has stressed the personal contact with the teacher and the education and raise the masses so that we can build our nation, with our small efforts. Thank you, sir, once again. Thank you, thank you. So here on behalf of Mukta, I want to again say thank you to the planning which has been taken place for arranging this particular program. So there was a bird's eyes from our president, Dr. Vaibhav Naravade sir, and Dr. Subhash Athavale sir. He was the backbone for our and all our Karyakarani members who have taken their job and always positive in arranging such type of programs. I, on behalf of Mukta, like to express thanks to all concerns for this enormous cooperation in the organization in such type of events in past and as well as in the future. So I also thank Dr. Subhash, Dr. Sandeep Barsar, librarian, who is looking after the technical arrangement as the session was live on YouTube and the Facebook Live. Again, I want to thank all our viewers today. Then there are altogether more than 60 videos which are there on our YouTube channel, that is Mukta Association channel. All can subscribe it, all can like those channels. Please visit and subscribe. I once again thanks all of you, and we can have a good afternoon and enjoy the Sunday. Thank you very, very much. We'll again meet on the next webinar. Yeah.
Actually, I am also thankful and grateful to all of you because you have given to me that is an opportunity to discuss you like such learned people. Therefore, I am thankful to all of you. Okay.
Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir. Yeah. So we'll now proceed to our with Sontakke sir to mantra.
Shanti Mantra.
Shanti mantra. Sir.
विठ्ठल सर अनम्यूट करा.
येस आय विसरलो होतो. ऑडिबल ना? ठीक आहे. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु,
मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग्
भवेत्.
ओम शांति
शांती
शांति
शांती
शांति.
पुन्हा एकदा सर्वांचे आभार. चंद्रात्रे सर, आठवले सर, मेघना मॅम, मनप्रीत मॅम, आपली सर्व कार्यकारिणी या ठिकाणी उपस्थित राहून गडदे सरांचं मार्गदर्शन या ठिकाणी आज लाभलं. त्याबद्दल गडदे सरांचे पुनश्च एकदा आभार. आणि अशाच प्रकारचं प्रबोधन आपण, आपल्या सर्वांना माहिती असतं की आपण काय करायला पाहिजे, पण त्याची वेळोवेळी जसं रिफ्रेश कोर्स आपण करतो त्या पद्धतीने गडदे सरांनी आपल्याला रिफ्रेश केलंय. त्याच्याबद्दल पुन्हा एकदा सगळ्यांचे आभार मानून मी थांबतो. धन्यवाद.
संदीप, रेकॉर्डिंग स्टॉप करा.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.